Welcome to Lost at 3 a.m. Put your phone down, close your eyes, and let this be the last video you hear tonight. Relax, breathe, and let's begin. Imagine standing in a place where creatures from millions of years ago walk among us, where the sound of distant thunder might not be thunder at all, but the footsteps of something enormous, where science, wonder, and danger exist side by side. This is Jurassic Park. More than just a movie, Jurassic Park is a moment in cinema history. It's the film that made people believe, truly believe, that dinosaurs could walk the earth again. When it hit theaters in 1993, audiences weren't just watching a movie, they were witnessing a new era of filmmaking. But Jurassic Park is more than just special effects. It's a story about curiosity and greed, discovery and disaster, about scientists playing God and realizing too late that nature cannot be controlled, about a dream, one man's vision to bring the past into the present, turning into a waking nightmare. Tonight, we're diving into the world of Jurassic Park, how it was made, the science behind it, the iconic moments that changed film forever, and the incredible behind-the-scenes stories that brought it to life. So close your eyes, step into the jungle, and listen. Do you hear that? A low rumble, deep in the distance. Maybe it's just the wind, or maybe something big is coming. Before it became one of the biggest blockbusters in history, Jurassic Park started as an idea, one rooted in science, speculation, and just a little bit of terror. The story began with Michael Crichton, a writer and filmmaker fascinated by the intersection of science and ethics. He had already explored medical breakthroughs in the Andromeda strain and the dangers of artificial intelligence in Westworld. But then he had a new thought, a question that would spark one of the greatest science fiction stories ever written. What if we could bring dinosaurs back? In the 1980s, Crichton was following real-life advancements in genetic engineering. Scientists were decoding DNA. Cloning was no longer just a theory. And for the first time, the idea of resurrecting extinct species didn't seem impossible. But Crichton saw the other side of it. Even if it were possible, should we do it? That question became the heart of his novel, Jurassic Park, a story about a billionaire's ambitious dream, the power of science, and the chaos that follows when humans try to control nature. Published in 1990, the book became an instant bestseller, praised for its mix of cutting-edge science and thrilling storytelling. And one man in Hollywood saw its potential before the book was even finished, Steven Spielberg. Spielberg, already known for bringing the impossible to life with films like Jaws and E.T., read an early draft of Jurassic Park and knew it could be something revolutionary. But bringing dinosaurs to life on screen was a different challenge. At first, Spielberg planned to use stop-motion animation, the same technique used in classic monster movies. But when he saw early tests, he knew it wasn't enough. He needed something real, something that would make audiences forget they were watching a movie. That decision would change film history forever. With the help of Stan Winston's animatronic wizardry and cutting-edge CGI from Industrial Light and Magic, Jurassic Park would become the first film to make dinosaurs truly feel alive. It was no longer just a book, no longer just an idea. Jurassic Park was about to become something the world had never seen before. Jurassic Park wasn't just a movie, it was a cinematic revolution. When audiences saw dinosaurs move, breathe, and roar on screen, they weren't just impressed, they were stunned. Before Jurassic Park, dinosaurs in film had always been limited by stop-motion animation or puppetry. But Steven Spielberg wanted something different. He didn't just want dinosaurs that looked real, he wanted dinosaurs that felt real, creatures with weight, texture, and presence. Dinosaurs that could make an audience forget they were watching a movie. Originally, the film was going to rely on traditional stop-motion techniques, the same kind used in classic monster movies like King Kong. But something wasn't working. The movement wasn't natural. It felt too mechanical, too artificial. Spielberg knew he needed to take a risk. He needed something the world had never seen before. That's when Industrial Light and Magic, led by Dennis Muren, came up with something revolutionary: computer-generated imagery, CGI. Up until that point, CGI had been used sparingly in films, but never for anything as complex as a living, breathing creature. But when Spielberg saw an early test of a fully digital T-Rex, he immediately knew this was the future. Still, not everything was CGI. The secret to Jurassic Park's realism was in the perfect combination of CGI and animatronics. For scenes that required close-up interactions, Spielberg turned to Stan Winston, a special effects legend. Winston and his team built life-sized animatronic dinosaurs that were so detailed, so fluid, that they felt just as real as the digital ones. The T-Rex animatronic alone was 20 feet tall and weighed over 9,000 pounds. It was built to be terrifyingly lifelike, with fully functional eyes, jaws, and even the ability to simulate breathing. The result? A seamless blend of practical and digital effects that still holds up 30 years later. Even in an age where CGI dominates Hollywood, Jurassic Park remains one of the most convincing visual effects films ever made. But the realism came with challenges. The T-Rex animatronic, for example, had a mind of its own. Because it was built using real materials, it absorbed water during the famous rainstorm scene, causing it to glitch and shake unexpectedly. At times, crew members would be eating lunch, only for the T-Rex to suddenly move, scaring everyone on set. And then there was the raptors. Unlike the T-Rex, the raptors were brought to life using a mix of CGI and full-body suits worn by stunt performers. Yes, those terrifying raptor attacks, they were performed by real people in suits, moving like dinosaurs to make the animations more realistic. It was painstaking work, but it paid off. When Jurassic Park finally hit theaters, audiences had never seen anything like it. People gasped, screamed, and sat in complete disbelief as dinosaurs filled the screen, not as special effects, but as real creatures. This was more than just a technical achievement. It was a turning point in film history. The success of Jurassic Park changed the way movies were made, proving that CGI could be used to bring the impossible to life. And even decades later, with all the advancements in visual effects, Jurassic Park's dinosaurs still look and feel more real than many modern CGI creatures. Because the secret wasn't just technology, it was craftsmanship, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of making dinosaurs live again. The dinosaurs might have been the stars of Jurassic Park, but the movie wouldn't have worked without a cast that made the impossible feel real. The awe, the terror, the sheer disbelief. It had to feel authentic, and that's exactly what this cast delivered. At the center of it all was Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant, the grumpy but brilliant paleontologist who starts the film skeptical of technology and ends it running for his life from prehistoric predators. Grant is a scientist who loves dinosaurs as long as they stay extinct. Watching him go from reluctant participant to full-blown survival mode makes his journey one of the most satisfying in the film. Then there's Laura Dern as Dr. Ellie Sattler, the film's heart and intelligence. Where Grant is reserved, Ellie is bold, adventurous, and more than willing to put herself in danger. She's not just a side character, she's a scientist, an explorer, and, in one of the film's most iconic moments, the person who saves the day when all hope seems lost. And of course, we have Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm, the rock star mathematician who steals nearly every scene he's in. Malcolm is equal parts chaos and charm, constantly warning about the dangers of playing God, while also delivering some of the most memorable lines in the film. His unique delivery, his over-the-top confidence, and of course, his legendary shirtless moment have made him a pop culture icon. But the cast wasn't just about the scientists. Richard Attenborough, as John Hammond, gave us one of the most fascinating characters in the movie. Hammond isn't a typical villain. He's not evil, he's just too ambitious for his own good. He truly believes Jurassic Park is a gift to the world. His enthusiasm is infectious, his vision grand, but in the end, his dream becomes his greatest mistake. His performance gives the film an emotional weight that makes the disaster even more tragic. And then there are the kids, Joseph Mazzello as Tim and Ariana Richards as Lex, who bring an essential human element to the story. Their terror feels real because, for them, the dinosaurs aren't just a scientific breakthrough, they are a nightmare come to life. Their performances are what make the T-Rex attack and the raptor kitchen scene some of the most intense moments in the film. Together, this cast grounds the story in reality. No matter how incredible the dinosaurs look, they only work because the actors sell the fear, the wonder, and the awe. They don't just react to special effects, they make us believe the danger is real. Without this cast, Jurassic Park would still be impressive. But with them, it became legendary. Jurassic Park is more than just an adventure movie. It's a story built on real science, mixed with just enough fiction to make it terrifyingly believable. When it was released in 1993, it felt like a glimpse into a future that might actually be possible. But how much of the film's science holds up today? In the movie, dinosaurs are brought back to life using DNA extracted from mosquitoes preserved in amber. It's a brilliant concept, simple, yet scientifically grounded enough to make it seem plausible. In reality, though, DNA degrades over time, and after millions of years, it becomes unreadable. Even if we did find a perfectly preserved dinosaur mosquito, the chances of retrieving a full, usable genome are next to impossible. And even if scientists did find viable dinosaur DNA, they'd still need a host species to carry the embryo, just like in the film. In Jurassic Park, they use frogs to fill in the missing genetic code, something that actually backfires when the dinosaurs unexpectedly reproduce. That part of the movie is based on real biology. Some species of frogs can change sex in response to environmental conditions, meaning that a population of all female dinosaurs might not stay that way for long. But what about the dinosaurs themselves? How accurately did Jurassic Park portray them? One of the biggest misconceptions the film introduced was the portrayal of velociraptors. In the movie, they're terrifying, intelligent, and about the size of a human. In reality, velociraptors were much smaller, about the size of a turkey, and were likely covered in feathers. The dinosaurs in the film are actually closer to a species called Deinonychus, but Spielberg and Crichton went with the name Velociraptor because, let's be honest, it just sounds cooler. The film's most famous dinosaur, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, is actually one of the more accurate depictions. The size, the power, the terrifying presence, it's all very close to what paleontologists believe T-Rex was like. However, there's one major inaccuracy. The idea that T-Rex can't see you if you don't move. This was a brilliant choice for suspense, but in reality, T-Rex had excellent vision, likely as good as or better than a modern hawk. So if you ever find yourself face to face with one, standing still probably won't help. Since Jurassic Park was released, our understanding of dinosaurs has evolved dramatically. We now know that many species had feathers, that they were likely more agile than originally thought, and that some may have even been more intelligent than we previously believed. But despite these scientific updates, Jurassic Park still inspired an entire generation of paleontologists, leading to a renewed interest in dinosaur research. At the end of the day, the science behind Jurassic Park isn't perfect, but it doesn't have to be. It's just believable enough to make us wonder, what if? And sometimes, that's all it takes to bring a story to life. Some movie scores are just background noise, something you barely notice while watching. But then, there are the scores that become part of the movie itself, the ones that stay with you forever. And when it comes to Jurassic Park, the music isn't just a soundtrack, it's a feeling. The moment the first few notes of John Williams' legendary theme begin, you're instantly transported. You can see the gates opening, hear the roar of the dinosaurs, and feel that sense of pure wonder and discovery that made Jurassic Park so special. Williams, already a Hollywood legend for his work on Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Jaws, was the perfect choice to bring the world of dinosaurs back to life through music. He didn't just create excitement, he captured the film's entire emotional journey. The main theme is all about grandeur and awe. It's the sound of stepping into a lost world, of seeing something beyond imagination. It doesn't just say, "Dinosaurs are back." It says, "This is something bigger than anything you've ever seen before." Then there's the ominous, suspenseful music that plays during moments of danger, like the T-Rex attack. Williams knows exactly when to let the music swell and when to let silence do the work, making those terrifying moments feel even more real. But the brilliance of the Jurassic Park score isn't just in the big moments, it's in the quiet ones too. The soft piano version of the theme, played during scenes of wonder, makes you feel just as connected to the dinosaurs as the characters in the film. 1 second, you're overwhelmed by their majesty. The next, you're reminded that humans were never meant to control them. It's this balance, beauty and terror, awe and danger, that makes the score so unforgettable. Even now, decades later, the music of Jurassic Park remains one of the most recognizable film scores ever composed. Whether you're hearing it in a concert hall, a theme park, or just humming it to yourself, it still carries that same feeling of adventure, wonder, and just a little bit of fear. Because just like the dinosaurs in the film, John Williams' music is something that never truly goes extinct. Some movie moments are exciting, some are terrifying, and then there are the ones that become legendary, the scenes that define a film, that leave audiences frozen in their seats, holding their breath. And in Jurassic Park, no scene does that better than the T-Rex attack. It starts with a storm, rain pouring down. The power in the park has failed. The electric fences, meant to keep the dinosaurs contained, are no longer working. Everything is quiet, except for the sound of water dripping onto the cars. And then, something changes. The camera lingers on a glass of water on the dashboard. The surface trembles, just for a second. Then again, a subtle vibration, almost easy to miss. But in that moment, something becomes clear. Something massive is coming. The tension builds slowly. There's no dramatic music, no sudden jump scare, just silence, the sound of the rain, and then the low groan of metal as the fence begins to move. The wires snap, and then, out of the darkness, the T-Rex emerges. Steven Spielberg knew that this moment would make or break the entire movie. This was the first time audiences would see the T-Rex in full, and it had to be perfect. A combination of cutting-edge CGI and a full-scale animatronic brought the dinosaur to life in a way that had never been seen before. The T-Rex doesn't just appear, it steps forward cautiously, testing its new freedom. The rain glistens on its skin, its pupils contract in the dark, its nostrils flare as it sniffs the air, and then it lets out a roar that rattles the earth. Inside the Jeep, the two children are frozen. There is no escape. And when the T-Rex finally lashes out, slamming its head onto the car, crushing metal like paper, the terror becomes real. The glass shatters, the frame bends inward. It doesn't feel like an action scene, it feels like survival. And then comes one of the most iconic moments in the film. Dr. Ian Malcolm, in a desperate attempt to lure the dinosaur away, grabs a flare and runs into the storm. The T-Rex hesitates, then turns its full attention to him. For a few seconds, Malcolm thinks he has succeeded, and then the chase begins. Filming this sequence was a challenge unlike anything the cast and crew had ever faced. The full-scale T-Rex animatronic, designed by Stan Winston's team, was an engineering marvel, but also incredibly unpredictable. Because it was built using real materials, it absorbed the rain during filming, causing it to malfunction. It would randomly jolt to life, twitching or moving unexpectedly, scaring both the actors and the crew. But the result? A scene that still holds up today, nearly 30 years later. Audiences weren't just watching a dinosaur attack a car, they believed it. The mix of practical effects and CGI made it feel more real than anything that had come before. And even in an age of advanced digital effects, the T-Rex attack in Jurassic Park remains one of the greatest suspense sequences in film history. Because no matter how many times you watch it, when the camera cuts back to that trembling glass of water, when the fence starts to creak and fall apart, when the T-Rex lets out that first deafening roar, it still feels just as real. When Jurassic Park hit theaters in 1993, it wasn't just a hit, it was a phenomenon. Audiences had never seen anything like it before. The dinosaurs felt real, the suspense was gripping, and the storytelling was the perfect mix of science, adventure, and terror. It became more than just a movie. It became a turning point in film history. Before Jurassic Park, CGI was still in its early days. Most films relied on practical effects, miniatures, or stop-motion animation. But after audiences saw dinosaurs brought to life in a way that felt completely real, everything changed. Filmmakers realized that CGI wasn't just a tool, it was the future. Without Jurassic Park, movies like The Lord of the Rings, Avatar, and even the Marvel films wouldn't look the way they do today. It reshaped Hollywood, proving that digital effects could be used to tell bigger, more ambitious stories. But Jurassic Park didn't just change movies. It changed paleontology. Suddenly, dinosaurs were everywhere. Museums saw an explosion in visitors. Kids became obsessed with fossils. People wanted to know more about these creatures, and real-world scientists became celebrities overnight. The film inspired a whole new generation of paleontologists, leading to new discoveries and a deeper understanding of what dinosaurs were really like. And then, of course, there was the franchise. After the success of the first film, Jurassic Park expanded into sequels, books, video games, and even theme park attractions. The original trilogy continued the story, while the later Jurassic World films brought dinosaurs into a modern-day setting, showing what might happen if humans never learned their lesson. Even though the sequels had mixed receptions, one thing remained clear. People never stopped loving dinosaurs. But what makes Jurassic Park truly timeless is that it still holds up. Even today, when CGI has advanced far beyond what was possible in the 90s, the original film still looks better than most modern blockbusters. The reason? It wasn't just about the effects, it was about how the effects were used. The film knew when to show the dinosaurs and when to hold back, using suspense, sound design, and character reactions to make the creatures feel even more real. And that's why, decades later, Jurassic Park remains one of the most beloved films ever made. It's not just nostalgia, it's not just the dinosaurs, it's the way the film makes you feel, the sense of wonder, fear, and excitement that keeps people coming back to it, generation after generation. Because at its core, Jurassic Park isn't just about dinosaurs, it's about what happens when humans try to control nature and realize too late that they never could. That message, that thrill, that magic, it never fades. Some movies come and go, but Jurassic Park, it's forever. Jurassic Park is an incredible film, but what happened behind the scenes is almost as fascinating as what ended up on screen. From unexpected disasters to bizarre creative choices, the making of this film was just as thrilling as the story itself. One of the most famous behind-the-scenes challenges was the T-Rex animatronic malfunctioning in the rain. The massive, life-sized dinosaur was an engineering masterpiece, but because it was built with real materials, it absorbed water during the storm scenes. This caused it to randomly start moving, even when no one was controlling it. Crew members would be eating lunch, only for the T-Rex to suddenly twitch or lunge, scaring everyone on set. And then there was the velociraptor problem. In the film, the raptors are terrifying, agile hunters that can open doors and stalk their prey with deadly intelligence. But those sequences weren't created using just CGI. Some of them were actually performed by actors in full-body raptor suits. Yes, real people had to crouch inside elaborate raptor costumes, walking and moving like dinosaurs to help bring the creatures to life. Even the sounds of the dinosaurs had surprising origins. The iconic T-Rex roar wasn't actually based on any real dinosaur recordings, since, of course, no one has ever heard one. Instead, sound designers layered together noises from living animals. The final T-Rex roar was a combination of a baby elephant, a tiger, and an alligator, with a touch of a whale's breath mixed in for depth. And the velociraptors, their eerie screeches and snarls were actually recorded from tortoises mating, that unsettling, chattering raptor noise. It's the sound of a pair of giant tortoises at the zoo. But one of the strangest behind-the-scenes facts comes from the casting process. Before Sam Neill was chosen as Dr. Alan Grant, the role was almost played by Harrison Ford. Spielberg initially wanted him for the lead, but Ford turned it down, believing the role wasn't right for him. It's hard to imagine anyone else playing Grant now, but at one point, Indiana Jones himself almost ended up running from Dinosaurs. Even Jeff Goldblum's Dr. Ian Malcolm was nearly played by someone else. Jim Carrey auditioned for the role. While Carrey is undeniably talented, Goldblum's chaotic energy, sarcastic wit, and famous laugh made him the perfect choice. Another near miss. The original ending was supposed to be completely different. Instead of the T-Rex saving the survivors from the raptors in the visitor center, the original script had Grant killing the raptors with a mechanical T-Rex skeleton in the museum. But Spielberg realized that the T-Rex was too iconic to leave out of the climax, so he rewrote the ending, on the spot, to give the dinosaur one last heroic moment. Jurassic Park may be a perfectly crafted film, but it was also filled with last-minute changes, on-set challenges, and strange, unexpected choices. And yet, somehow, all those obstacles only made it better. Some movies are exciting in the moment, but they fade over time. And then there are films like Jurassic Park, movies that don't just entertain, but stay with you forever. More than 30 years after its release, Jurassic Park is still one of the most beloved films of all time. It's been followed by sequels, spin-offs, video games, and theme park rides. But no matter how many new dinosaur movies come out, nothing quite matches the magic of the original. But why? What makes Jurassic Park so special? It's not just the dinosaurs, it's the way the film makes you feel. The sense of awe when the Brachiosaurus first appears, the slow-building terror of the T-Rex attack, the heart-pounding suspense of the raptors in the kitchen. It's not just a movie, it's an experience, and it still holds up. The visual effects, a perfect blend of CGI and animatronics, are more convincing than many modern films that rely solely on digital creatures. The storytelling is timeless, balancing science fiction with adventure, horror, and heart. The characters feel real, reacting exactly the way we would if we found ourselves face to face with creatures that were supposed to be extinct. But beyond the action, beyond the groundbreaking effects, Jurassic Park is a film about humanity's relationship with nature, about curiosity, ambition, and the consequences of playing God, about the simple, undeniable truth that no matter how much we try to control the world around us, nature always finds a way. And maybe that's why it still resonates. Because deep down, we're all fascinated by the idea of dinosaurs walking among us. We want to believe it could happen. We want to feel that same awe and terror, just like the characters do. And thanks to Jurassic Park, we do. Some films come and go, but Jurassic Park is forever. Thank you for spending your night with Lost at 3 a.m. Sweet dreams, and we'll see you next time.